I think if I was somebody who came to you and said, I want to live this type of a lifestyle, I think some of the first things we've got to discuss is location. How much land, like how much food are you trying, what size family are you trying to sustain, right? So then that's going to turn into how much land do you need, right?
Yes.
And then we've got like zoning. What type of zoning do you want to be in? Property zone, right?
Yeah.
Because you got to, if you want to have animals, you want to have goats and chickens and the,
So you're talking a degree of rural living, right?
yes.
So you're not in urban society. You can't live in like a tract home and expect to do all this because, for one, you're going to have like an HOA and city, and you're going to have a lot of things that are going to limit you, right?
Well, I know because when we couldn't get eggs during COVID and when we were all on lockdown, I was begging you for a chicken coop in the backyard and you said,
The HOA is going to like, they got us because we didn't pay the garage door on time. You know what I mean? So they want to. It was just getting it wasn't as shiny as they liked it, so they called us for that.
I didn't
What do you
even
think
think
they're
it
gonna say
looked,
when they hear a big rooster?
I didn't even think it looked bad. There was not,
It
and
wasn't that bad.
and I'm picky.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that bad. Trust me. And we had painted that door probably within the last 3 years, right? So it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
They were just, but whatever. What are you gonna do? You're gonna argue with them, and,
Yeah.
and you're gonna get fined?
So chickens would not have worked in our backyard
No, not at
there.
all. So yeah, no chickens in an HOA, right?
Right. That makes sense. So, next, what do you think would be the most important thing to consider if I was wanting to live this lifestyle of homesteading?
All right. So if you wanted to do like get off the grid completely, there's the three utilities, right? We talked about solar and how to get rid of that, and gas generators. You can run a gas generator as a backup also. Um, the second thing that you would need is gas. Like, okay, so propane. There's propane tanks that you can get, these humongous tanks, and they're like 800 gallons, or they're really big, and put a lot of gas away, and you have a truck show up that will fill it every so often, right? Depending on your usage, like what you're describing. So that's gas. And then there's water. Well, you run a big pipe all the way down into the ground, into the actual the water table that's in the ground, and you get a pump and you pump up your own water. So, and you run that electric pump with your solar.
Okay, makes sense. So, from a cost perspective, though, what do you think somebody would need to budget for something like that?
It's hard to say because those.
Depends where, right?
Well, yeah. If you okay, let's talk about our community, right here in our area. We live in Valencia, so if in our area's suburban, we can't do it here. But if you go up, I would say Acton, you have options there because you have bigger properties, right? And you're going to have basically little ranches, and you've got 2 to 4 acre properties that you can do this on. And some of those do also have communities with HOAs, so you got to be careful. But in the more rural, the more you'll have dirt roads. So that's something to consider. Are you okay with the dirt road?
Well, not everybody is.
I would say you're not.
I would say I'm probably not. I would say you're not either because you have a black car and you wouldn't want to be at the car wash every other day. So
Yes.
for us, probably no. But for some people, they don't mind.